All right, so we're diving deep today, and I think this one's going to resonate with a lot of you out there. We all want to figure out how to live a lighter, happier life right.
Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want a little more happiness, right?
So we're looking at this book, Viajando Ligero en la Vida, which basically means traveling lightly through life.
That's a great title.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just some like airy-fairy self-help stuff. From what I hear, this book is all about practical advice, real-world examples, stuff you can actually use.
I love that.
Me too. And lucky for us, we've got an expert in personal development here to help us break it all down. Someone who's really good at taking like these big complicated ideas and making them, well, make sense.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here.
So this book, it really does feel like a roadmap, right? It breaks down this whole lighter living thing into these manageable chapters where we're talking letting go of the past, finding inner peace, enjoying the present moment.
Right, learning from mistakes. And then there's cultivating gratitude.
So it's not just about like feeling good, it's about actually giving you steps to get there.
Exactly, yeah. It lays out all these different parts of our lives and shows you how they work together, how they connect to create a more fulfilling experience.
I love that. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Letting go of the past. This is a big one, Ruff.
Huge. And the book starts with this really powerful analogy. It talks about carrying a backpack, full of stones. And each stone, it represents a past hurt, grudge, regret, anything weighing you down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's this visual representation of all that baggage we carry around. That stuff we can't change. And it really makes you think, what would your backpack feel like?
Yeah, that's heavy, literally.
It is,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So many of us are walking around with these burdens, but how do we actually let go? It's definitely easier said than done.
Absolutely. So how do we do it? What does the book say?
Well, it gets into the nitty-gritty of forgiveness. And one of the biggest takeaways is that forgiving someone, it doesn't mean you're condoning what they did. It's about freeing yourself from that emotional baggage.
Yeah, like you're not giving them a pass. You're giving yourself permission to move on.
Exactly. And acknowledging that the past is the past, right? We can't change it, but we can choose how we carry it with us.
I'm already feeling lighter. But okay, you mentioned that the book gives strategies, right? Like what are some things people can actually do to start letting go?
Well, it starts with something really simple. Uh, Make a list of those burdens, almost like taking inventory, what's weighing you down.
Hmm.
But it goes deeper than that. It talks about understanding, the motivations behind other people's actions, learning to accept things as they are,
Ah, accept it.
big one, and practicing self-compassion.
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself.
Absolutely. We can get stuck in these cycles of self-blame, and that's where learning from mistakes comes in. But for now, I think it's important to remember that letting go, it's not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice.
Though I like that, like a muscle you have to keep working out.
Yeah. There are going to be days when those old hurts, they resurface,
Yeah.
and that's okay. The key is to keep coming back to those strategies, those tools that help you lighten your load.
So letting go, that's our first step on this roadmap. What's next?
So from letting go, we move into finding inner peace. And one thing I love about this book is how it acknowledges that there isn't just one path to peace. It's very inclusive.
So it's not telling everyone to go meditate on a mountaintop.
Nope. It recognizes that some people, they find peace through religion, through prayer, through meditation. But for others, it might be through connecting with nature, or building strong relationships, or finding healthy ways to manage stress.
It's like there's a whole menu of options. You get to choose what works for you.
Exactly. And the book really emphasizes that personal development is a key part of finding peace, no matter what you believe. It's about finding what nourishes your soul, what helps you feel centered and grounded.
I love that. So we've let go of the past. We're working on finding that inner peace. Where do we go from there?
From inner peace, the book takes us to the importance of living in the present moment. It's about shifting our focus, from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future to really savoring the now.
So this is where mindfulness comes in, right?
Yes. And the book does such a great job of explaining mindfulness, not just as a concept, but as a practice. It's about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Like you're a curious observer of your own experience.
Okay, so instead of rushing through my day on autopilot, I'm actually experiencing it.
Exactly. It's about slowing down enough to appreciate the simple things. The taste of your morning coffee, the feel of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter. Engaging all of your senses and really being present in the moment.
That sounds amazing,
Mm-hmm.
but also kind of hard. Our minds are so good at pulling us out of the present, with worries and to-do lists.
Yeah, it is a practice and it takes time. But the book offers some really practical techniques for cultivating mindfulness. And it emphasizes that even small moments of mindfulness can make a big difference.
Like, I'm thinking about those times when I'm walking my dog and I'm not really present, I'm thinking about work or what I need to get at the grocery store. What if I actually just focused on being there with my dog, enjoying the walk?
Exactly. And think about how much richer that experience would be for both of you. It's about bringing that same awareness to all areas of your life, your relationships, your work, even your leisure time.
I love this idea of mindfulness, like as a way to enhance every aspect of life.
And it's not just about paying attention to your own experiences. The book also talks about mindfulness in relationships, especially when it comes to listening.
Oh, yeah. I am so guilty of like half listening while I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next.
We all do it. But imagine what would change if you really focused on listening in your next conversation, really being present with the other person. It can totally deepen your connection and create a much more meaningful interaction.
Right. It's like you're actually hearing them, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together, letting go of the past, finding inner peace, living in the present moment. It's like they're all building blocks for this later, happier life.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial element, learning from mistakes.
Oh, this is the part where we stop beating ourselves up for messing up, right?
That's a big part of it. The book acknowledges that mistakes are inevitable. They're part of being human. But it encourages us to see them not as failures, but as opportunities for growth.
So instead of dwelling on what we did wrong, we focus on what we can learn from it.
Exactly. It's about shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion. And the book, it provides practical advice on how to actually learn from our mistakes.
Like, give me some examples. What kind of advice are we talking about?
Well, it encourages you to analyze the causes of the error, not just the error itself. So instead of saying, I messed up that presentation, you ask yourself, why did I mess up? Was I unprepared? Was I nervous? Did I not understand the material?
Right, get to the root of it.
Exactly. And then you can create a plan of action to avoid repeating that mistake in the future.
So it's about turning mistakes into learning experiences, not letting them define us.
That's exactly it. It's about building resilience and developing a growth mindset, which are essential for navigating all of life's ups and downs. And that's where the final piece of the puzzle comes in, cultivating gratitude.
Okay, tell me more about this gratitude piece. This is intriguing.
So this is where the book really shines. It highlights gratitude as this powerful tool for enhancing happiness. It's not about ignoring the challenges in your life. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even in the midst of those challenges. And one of the practical suggestions it offers is keeping a gratitude journal.
Oh, I've heard about those. You just write down things you're grateful for every day, right?
It's that simple, yet so powerful. The book suggests writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day, big or small. It could be a sunny day, a good cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend. It's about training your mind to notice and appreciate the good things.
Yeah, like retraining your brain to focus on the positive.
Exactly.
Mm.
What else does the book say about cultivating gratitude?
Well, it encourages expressing gratitude to others, taking the time to acknowledge and appreciate the people in your life. And that can have this ripple effect, spreading positivity, strengthening relationships.
Often.
Yeah. So it's about acknowledging the good, both within ourselves and in how we interact with others.
Exactly. And making it a habit.
Yeah.
The book really emphasizes that gratitude is a choice we make every day.
I'm loving this. I'm starting to see how all these pieces, letting go, finding peace, being present, learning from those mistakes, and cultivating gratitude, they all come together to create this like tapestry of a lighter, happier life.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And the book does such a good job of providing concrete examples to help you actually put these ideas into practice. For instance, it talks about finding gratitude in everyday situations.
Yeah, what kind of situations are we talking about? Like, give me an example.
Well, imagine you're stuck in traffic.
Right.
Instead of getting frustrated, you can choose to be grateful for having a car that lets you travel conveniently. Or, even when you're feeling stressed at work, you could acknowledge that you have a job that provides for you.
It's about finding the silver lining, even when things are tough.
Precisely. It's a powerful shift in perspective, and it can make a world of difference.
I'm really enjoying this deep dive. This is giving me so much to think about. So where do we go from here? Okay, so we've got these like 5 key ideas, our building blocks from the book, but are they all like equally important or does the book, kind of emphasize certain ones more?
That's a great question. I think it does a really good job of showing how each one builds on the last. It's like a progression.
Yeah.
You start with letting go of the past. That creates space for you to find inner peace. And then when you're at peace with yourself, well, it's easier to be present in the moment.
Right, right.
And when you're truly present, you're more likely to, learn from your mistakes rather than dwelling on them. And then finally, all of that leads to cultivating gratitude, this sense of appreciation for your life, exactly as it is.
Wow. Okay, I'm seeing how that works. It's like this chain reaction of positivity.
Exactly. It's not about mastering one idea
Yeah.
and then moving on to the next. It's about like weaving them all together to create this holistic approach to living a lighter, happier life.
It's like a recipe. You need all the ingredients to make it work.
I love that analogy. And just like with a recipe, you might find that you need to adjust the proportions,
Yeah.
to fit your own taste. Maybe you need to spend more time on letting go of the past, or maybe you're already pretty good at being present. But you really need to work on that gratitude piece.
So it's about figuring out what areas need the most attention, like fine-tuning the recipe to make it your own.
Exactly. The book provides a framework,
Hmm.
but it's up to you to, personalize it and make it work for you.
I like that a lot. Okay, so one thing I'm curious about, we've talked about how this book is full of practical advice. Can you give us like specific examples of techniques or exercises that people can try?
Oh, absolutely. There are tons of great examples in the book. For letting go of the past, it suggests writing a letter to someone who has hurt you, even if you never send it. It's about getting those feelings out of your head and onto paper.
That's a powerful idea. I can see how that would be like really cathartic.
It can be. And for finding inner peace, the book talks about the importance of connecting with nature. Even just spending a few minutes outside every day, taking a walk in the park, sitting by a tree, it can really have a calming effect.
I know, I always feel better after being out in nature, for sure.
Me too. And for being present, it has these really helpful mindfulness exercises.
Mm.
One simple technique is to just focus on your breath. Just notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe.
Ah, okay.
It's a great way to bring yourself back to the present moment whenever you feel your mind wandering.
Right. That's something anyone can do, anywhere, anytime.
Exactly. It's like a portable tool for finding peace. And for learning from mistakes, it has this great exercise where you actually write down your mistakes, analyze what went wrong, and then come up with a plan to do better next time.
Ooh, interesting.
It's about taking that proactive approach to growth.
So, like, you're turning your mistakes into stepping stones.
That's it. And for cultivating gratitude, the book has a whole chapter on different ways to express gratitude. Writing thank you notes, practicing gratitude meditations, and even just simply making an effort to, notice and appreciate the good things in your life.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it is.
I'm getting a real sense of how this book can be like a practical guide to living that lighter life.
It really is. It's not
Right.
just about reading and feeling inspired. It's about taking action, making those changes in your life.
Right. So, speaking of action, what's like one small step someone can take today after listening to this to start applying these ideas?
That's a great question. I think a really simple but powerful step would be to choose one area to focus on. Pick one of those 5 building blocks, letting go, finding peace, being present, learning from mistakes, cultivating gratitude, and just commit to practicing it in some small way every day.
But it's not about trying to overhaul your entire life. It's about starting small and building from there.
Exactly. Choose one thing, make it a habit, and you'll start to see how it ripples out into other areas of your life.
That's great advice. It's those baby steps towards that brighter future.
I think so.
Okay, before we wrap up, is there anything else from the book that really stood out to you? Anything you think is particularly important?
One thing that really resonated with me was the book's emphasis on self-compassion. It's a theme that runs through all the chapters, really. It's this idea that we need to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we'd offer a good friend.
Oh, that's so true. We can be so hard on ourselves sometimes.
Absolutely. And the book argues that self-compassion is essential for living a lighter, happier life. It's about acknowledging that we're all imperfect. We're all going to make mistakes. And that's okay. It's giving ourselves permission to be human.
It's about accepting ourselves, flaws and all.
Exactly. And recognizing that we're worthy of love and happiness, regardless of our imperfections.
I love that. Such a good message. It's a reminder we all need sometimes.
Totally. And I think it ties in perfectly with the book's overall message, which is that living a lighter life isn't about striving for perfection. It's about finding joy and contentment in the midst of our, perfectly imperfect lives.
I love that. It's about embracing the messiness and finding the beauty in it.
Exactly. And that brings us to our final thought, which is inspired by the book, but kind of takes it a step further.
Okay, I'm all ears.
What if, instead of waiting for things to be perfect, you started practicing gratitude for the messy, imperfect beauty of your life right now?
Ooh, that's good. Tell me more about that.
Embrace the challenges, the joys, the sorrows, all of it as part of this, incredible tapestry that is your life.
So it's about appreciating the whole picture, not just the pretty parts.
Exactly. Find gratitude in the midst of it all. And just watch how that simple shift in perspective can transform how you experience life.
That's powerful. It's about finding those sparks of joy, in everyday moments, those little bursts of beauty that we often miss.
Yeah. Because when we shift our focus from what's missing to what we already have, we open ourselves up to so much abundance and contentment.
Yeah, it's like we get so caught up looking for those big, splashy things that we totally miss the beauty right in front of us.
Yeah. Right. It's like we're always searching for happiness somewhere else when it's been here the whole time.
And this book, Viajando Ligero en la Vida, it's like it's giving us a map to find those little hidden gems of happiness.
That's a great way to put it. It reminds us that living a lighter, happier life, it's not, this big accomplishment only some people achieve. It's a journey we can all take, one step at a time.
One choice at a time.
Exactly.
So if you're listening and you're feeling weighed down like you're carrying that backpack full of stones, this book is telling you you don't have to.
There's another way, a path towards lightness, towards joy, towards a life that feels more true to who you are.
And it starts with that first step, right? Picking up the book, really diving into the ideas, seeing what speaks to you.
Remember that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that step, it might just be exploring this book, seeing where it takes you.
I love that. So if you're feeling that spark of curiosity, if you're ready to lighten your load and embrace that messy, imperfect beauty of life, I definitely recommend checking out Viajando Ligero en la Vida.
It's full of wisdom, practical advice,
Hmm.
just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah. And who knows, it might just be the thing that kicks off your own journey towards a lighter, happier life.
Okay.
So until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep seeking out those little pieces of knowledge that make life a little brighter, a little lighter, and a whole lot more meaningful.